Now we see what is route segment taunt feed. So by using route segment taunt feed, we can taunt feed a full page or layout or route handler. So what are the things available in route segment taunt feed means these 7 items we can use in route segment taunt feed. That is, we need to export the term. So we have dynamic params, revalidate, fetch, catch, runtime, preferred region, match duration. Mostly we will use the first 3 terms. So the first one is dynamic. So dynamic by the default value is auto, but we can configure this. When we use this at the top of the page or layout or route handler, then that page will become fully dynamic. So we need to use the option force dynamic or force static. It also has some additional options we will see later. So by doing this, the page or layout becomes dynamic, and the dynamic params. So it is default to true. So dynamic params means we will see in dynamic route, like the square bracket folder we use. So that is dynamic route. In that area we use dynamic params. So by default it is true, but when we use false, in the case we use generate static params function in dynamic params page. So generate static params will generate the pages we are returning at the build time, but when we give false means then it will generate, if you have a function means it will generate that pages around, and for dynamic routings other pages then dynamic the generate static params, then it will throw 404 though. And the next one is revalidate. So we can set revalidate to false. By default it is false, or we can set any seconds like 60 or 100 or any seconds. It will revalidate our fetch, revalidate our data. And another one is fetch catch. So if we configure this fetch catch means then our default fetch will be configured, that is by default fetch is catched. So if we make any changes to this means then our fetch will behave differently. And the next one is runtime. So runtime by default it is Node.js. We can set to edge runtime, but mostly we will use Node.js. Based upon our specification and hosting we can choose edge runtime. And the preferred region is auto, and it is need to support in your, if we change any preferred region it need to support in your hosting. And the last one is match duration. So it is, we don't config match duration. If we config means it will be taken by our hosting, and if the hosting supports means then it will give maximum duration for our request. So let us see what are the other options we have. So in the dots they have all the options, and what options we need to use, and what these options will affect other parameters. So all these things are given in the dots. You can refer the dots. So in match duration they told, like by default Nest.js does not limit the execution of server-side logic. Deployment platform can use match duration from Nest.js build output to add specific execution limit. This is I told you. And in the dynamic param section you can see false. So dynamic segments not included in generate static params will return a 404. This is I told. And this is fetch catch. This is advanced one. So you can read what are the options they have, but config only if you want to really change the behavior of fetch. Then dynamic one, it has force dynamic, error, force static, all things are in the documents. I have given the basic details about route segment config. You can refer dots to learn more about other options like error or other options like fetch catch, other options. All these things you can learn in the dots.